Olivia had always found comfort in the predictability of the highway home. The endless stretch of asphalt, punctuated only by the occasional gas station or flickering diner sign, was a familiar monotony. But tonight, a disquiet settled in her stomach as she approached the crest of a hill. The culprit was Smiling Stan's used cars. The Collosal Billboard, usually a beacon of garish cheer with its cartoonishly enthusiastic salesman perpetually offering a thumbs up, now seemed different. The neon grin, normally a beacon in the night, flickered like a dying ember. The once vibrant blue background was streaked with rust, like dried blood on a forgotten wound. Olivia slowed down, a prickling sensation on her scalp, sending shivers down her spine. As she drew closer, a low groan echoed through the night, seemingly emanating from the billboard itself. She convinced herself it was the wind, a trick of the dying neon lights. But then, the groan was followed by a metallic screech, and the billboard shuddered. Panic choked her throat as the painted arm holding the thumbs up twitched, then ripped free from the vinyl, surface with a sickening tear. A monstrous limb, a nightmarish fusion of metal and peeling paint, emerged from behind the facade. It was then that Olivia realized the painted smile was not a smile at all, but a grotesque leer stretched across a skeletal, metallic face. Twin glowing eyes, embers ripped from hell itself, locked onto her car. A voice, a rasping amalgam of metal groaning and wind howling, scraped the air. Need a car. Olivia slammed the gas pedal, the engine roaring in protest as she shot past the animated monstrosity. In the rearview mirror, she saw Stan jerkily detach himself from the billboard, the rusted frame groaning in protest. His painted form rippled in the night wind, the parody of a salesman's suit, now a tattered shroud wrapped around a skeletal frame of metal. He lunged after her, a grotesque parody of a runner, his painted grin morphing into a horrific scream. Terror fueled her escape. Every creak of her car, every bump in the road, sounded like Stan gaining on her. The familiar landscape of the highway became a gauntlet of fear, each milepost a marker leading deeper into a nightmare. Finally, she reached the familiar glow of the Oasis gas station, a beacon of light in the desolate landscape. Sarah burst through the doors, gasping for breath. The lone attendant, a weary-eyed man named Hank, stared at her with a mixture of concern and amusement. "Bad dream, huh?" he mumbled, gesturing towards the steaming coffee pot. She stammered out her story, the terror raw in her voice. Hank, however, scoffed. "That billboard? Been here for years. Never heard of it moving, let alone chasing anyone." Sarah felt a flicker of doubt, but the memory of those burning eyes and the inhuman screech were too vivid to ignore. The next morning, news reports confirmed her worst fears. There had been multiple sightings of the animated Stan, along with reports of mangled car parts found scattered along the highway. But when authorities arrived at the scene, they found only the familiar billboard, the painted grin back in place, a mocking wink in the harsh sunlight. The terror, however, was far from over. The news reports attracted a morbid curiosity, a steady stream of daredevils and thrill-seekers drawn to the supposedly haunted billboard. Sarah, consumed by a chilling certainty, started a blog, documenting her encounter and the subsequent reports. Initially dismissed as internet folklore, her detailed account, fueled by the terror of the experience, started gaining traction. Meanwhile, the disappearances continued. Sarah, haunted by the image of the skeletal Stan, pieced together a horrifying theory. The animated billboard wasn't just a horrifying anomaly, it was a predator. The discarded car parts, the reports of strange lights flickering around the billboard, it all pointed to a gruesome truth. Unable to convince the authorities, Sarah took matters into her own hands. She contacted a group of urban explorers, thrill-seekers with a penchant for the unexplained. Led by a wiry, middle-aged woman named Liz, who called herself the Architect of Shadows, they decided to investigate the billboard at night. Equipped with night vision goggles, high-powered cameras, and a healthy dose of fear, they arrived at the deserted highway. The billboard loomed ominously in the darkness, the silence broken only by the rasping groan of the wind. As they approached, the neon flickered, revealing the unsettling leer painted on Stan's face. Suddenly, the groan escalated to a screech. The billboard shuddered violently, and Sarah felt a primal scream rise in her throat. This time, they were prepared. Liz activated a powerful spotlight, bathing the billboard in an artificial dawn.